Also, welcome to episode 16 of the Point Podcast. We could have a podcast one time.
Yeah, we should.
We
should.
Get
Black Ops
1. We might have a new setup for our gaming stuff soon. But welcome to that. One thing I was going to say, starting off the episode, we have a lot of dogs out during these episodes. Like, I got him out today.
Mama.
God, yeah. But no, the dogs are out a fair bit for us.
Yeah. Oh no, I think I've worn socks most of the time.
Yeah.
Well, I've got him out at the moment. I've got okay feet. Great content for a gaming podcast. So this is episode 16. This is our New Year's cast. That's why the tree's still up, because we're lazy, haven't taken it down yet. But what we wanted to talk about today a bit was that we were going to talk about a bit of a year in review, what we want to see next year, and then maybe just
More
standard
dribble.
dribble stuff like normal. They've got one topic I want to talk about, sort of related to this year. But basically, how about I start it? What did you guys think of this year in gaming?
Could have been better, but definitely was far from the worst year I've had in terms of new releases.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was decent.
I think the
Decent.
first half of the year was started off a lot stronger,
Oh,
Yeah.
and then like you hit like the sort of May through to like August type area. It kind of slowed down. Other than Wukong in like June,
Yeah.
there was nothing in the middle, and then it was like every week from September there was a new big budget game
Yeah, but
coming
only
out.
for like 6 weeks, and then it just disappeared
Yep.
again.
I mean, the biggest things for me were Helldivers and Dragon Ball. Other than that,
Yeah,
there
it's
hasn't
Dragon
been
Ball.
much that really... I mean, I know there's others that came out, but...
What have we got? Helldivers,
Helldivers,
Dragon Ball,
Wukong,
Balatro,
Balatro.
which is like a hidden gem for us till the end of the
Yeah.
year.
Metaphor was there, but I still need to actually
Yeah,
get the full
Silent
game.
Hill.
Silent Hill was also out.
That's it for us, I reckon.
I mean, the other
You
games...
could say COD.
COD as well,
we
yeah.
played
Yeah.
it. We played a fair bit of it.
But like I've been playing the same games I've been playing for the last 3 or 4 years, just cycling through them.
Yeah, Ben's game of the year is Rainbow Six Siege and Rocket League for the 10th year in a row.
Second year in a row, Rocket League's been there since 2018.
Have you been playing Siege for a year?
Oh, I played it when it first came out, and then I played it again during COVID for like a little bit.
I'm about to dox Ben. He plays a game that's named after his last name.
Wasn't it named after me? I came first.
I don't know.
Actually, no. Oh,
I always come first.
when did the first Siege come out? Like the real
I don't
old
know.
school
How old's your
shit.
sister?
What the hell does that mean?
He's dribbling already. Shout out to the old eggnog clip from our
God,
other
yeah.
podcast.
From the other potty. Shout out to probably no one that watches this. We also appear on another podcast sometimes. Well, I shouldn't say sometimes. I literally make it for a bunch of people. But there's a clip of me spitting up a bit of eggnog. It's pretty hectic. But yeah, so we thought it was just a bit of a mid-year.
Yeah, I mean, it's had its moments, but again,
Yeah.
it's nothing to rush.
Crazy.
It felt more like everything that my most played game this year was Fallout 76. Like,
Yeah,
that if that's my most played game
That's
this year,
telling.
everything else that came out was just like, oh, this is a cool distraction for all of. I mean, I think you said it about Space Marine. Like, it was great for 2 weeks and then kind of.
I'm going through all my games I played now on PlayStation this year, and there's been
Keep talking. I've
a
just
lot
got
of
to
like
sync.
Yeah.
a lot of remasters. Like I replayed Shadow Mordor. That's pretty good. What else we played? Space Marine. Still haven't touched that. For
Oh, yeah, Space
months.
Marine.
Yeah,
we
haven't-
need to play it together.
we do.
We do. It's perfect. 3-player.
but
Yeah.
it's not cross-platform, is it?
No, I looked into
you do
that. I
co-op?
think it does do cross-platform somehow, but it's not. It's a weird,
Yeah, this is
way.
off topic, crazy, because I just said is it co-op, like couch co-op? I tell you what I hate, when games are couch co-op and there's a vertical instead of horizontal.
Yeah, some
It
games you can
depends on the
split it.
game.
I don't know, man. If it's split in the middle of the screen, like, what are you doing? I don't want to play that.
If it's a racing game, it needs to be horizontal. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
Yeah.
no.
because you
If it's
need
a
the whole
shooter-
width of the road.
If it's a shooter, depending on what, like the layout of the UI and everything.
I don't want to have a
I've
little HUD
played-
this big.
when was
I
the
mean-
last? What was the last shooter you played?
Modern
would be
Warfare
Halo.
4.
Yeah,
Which
well,
one?
What were we playing through? We were playing through Halo 2.
Okay, a game that came out 20 years ago.
No. Sugar, what were we playing? It was Halo 3, sorry.
Oh, okay,
the
a game
next
that
one in the
came out
series.
17 years ago.
Sorry.
But like with the old Tony Hawk games, you got the option you could split it vertically or horizontally depending on how you want it. Or if you
That
had a
would be
really
one of the
shit
only
TV.
games where it would be good if it was vertical instead
Yeah.
of horizontal.
Yeah.
And also screen cheating.
Oh,
Oh, fuck you if you're a little screen cheater.
the people who like the photos of them with cardboard over it, and they've got one
Yeah.
kid sitting real close, and then
All
the other one
about
looking. Yeah.
Did you ever have a game where you'd play it with your siblings or friends or whatever, and you'd go over and play co-op, and you were just too good for them?
Oh, all the
Because
time.
I remember playing Halo with my mates, and I'd go to his house, and I was just so much better than him. So he'd have to get his little brother in, and it would be both of them versus me, and I'd let him like go get him banshees and shit. I'd always destroy them, and they would get shitty every single time.
I
It was just too good.
used to play Sonic Adventure 2 against my. Of
course you did.
Shut up.
You
Used to
play
play
Sonic against someone?
Time trial.
Yes. No, it had actual multiplayer multiplayer maps. Anyway, I'd be playing against my little stepbrother. I used to give him a 2-minute head start on every single level, and most of the time, if he
Still
didn't
beat
win,
him.
he'd reset it. He'd reset it, and we'd have to actually
I respect
reload
it.
everything and go again.
This isn't a memory you would have, but on that sort of topic, did you have anyone when you were playing COD as like an early teen, Black Ops 1 days, and they'd be doing a wager match, and if they lost, they would turn off their console straight away?
100%.
Because in Call of Duty Black Ops 1, how you would upgrade your weapons you'd get, were they called COD points?
See,
Or-
COD points is stuck in my head
Because of the new stuff, yeah. Or
I
that's
don't think it
microtransactions.
was.
It had a currency.
Yeah.
And like if you would level up, you get this currency, and if you did challenges, you get this
Like
currency.
tokens you could spend.
Yeah,
and
and
then
you,
use
but
it like that.
but it was a dollar value, so it was like it was hundreds, and you would use that to buy weapons,
Upgrades and
upgrades, things like
whatnot,
that. And there was wager matches where you could go in and you'd put you'd bet it, and if you lost, you'd lose the money. But if you won,
you
you got
everyone
double
else's.
or things like that. Yeah. And so many people, if they, because I think it was interviewed in the top 3, you were making money. If you're
Yeah.
below that, you weren't. And so I know people who they'd play it, and then if they didn't win, straight away you turn off your 360 or your PS3, and you'd leave the match and you wouldn't lose it. So many people would do that so
Rip out the
often.
Ethernet.
Rip out the Ethernet, do whatever they could just so they wouldn't lose. People used to scream and cry and
People
stuff
still
all
do.
over.
The
when
same
they're
with
losing
FIFA.
matches,
People
honestly.
they go on and do stuff, and then if you play Ultimate Team or whatever, they just leave the match straight away if they're going to lose or turn the
they're
console.
just salty.
I find that really scummy, honestly. And I
Yeah.
love how many times developers will now put in things where if you quit too many matches,
You get
or if we-
penalised.
Yeah, you
or
get penalised.
yes,
trying to play Marvel Rivals recently without internet, shocking. 'Cause
Oh,
they
yeah.
come up and I get a warning every single time, and it's like, oh, you left the match unexpectedly. It's like, I was still here. The 1000 ping just kicked me from the game.
Shout out to Telstra and saying that our NBN box that was freshly installed doesn't work properly and our speeds have gone down. We have gigabit Ethernet and we're getting 40 down. Hectic.
Yeah, our
How?
upload's better than our download. It's
Yes,
a bit.
that's ridiculous.
But
I will say I'm
hopefully
uploading clips
will be-
better.
hopefully will be fixed.
Yeah, we bought a mesh system and everything. Oh,
Got to save that money till next pay.
God, that's a hard life.
I used to try and play back when DayZ was still an Arma 2
Oh
mod.
god, yeah.
I used to be trying to play.
God, you
I used to
are
live
old.
out in the middle
I
of
I played that as well.
used to live out in the sticks
Yeah, but you're a cool retro
with
gamer.
satellite internet, and I'd be trying to play Arma 2 DayZ maps
Yep.
on that. It's like it takes me 5 minutes to connect, and then that disconnect icon is just constantly flashing in the corner. It wasn't I wasn't lagging out or anything. Everyone's like, "No, you're moving fine. Don't worry. No worse than the rest of us."
That's just a
It's-
game glitch. It's a shit game. Do you think DayZ was the first viral game? Now that I think about it, like internet viral game everyone buys because
No, it was definitely one of the big multiplayer games, but there were plenty of other little indie ones like Fez and
no, but that was
Braid
that was
sort of-
just that wasn't I don't think anything online because they were just big on like Xbox Live Marketplace and
well, they were big on PC as well.
yeah, but that's what I mean. It was just on a platform like that. I feel like DayZ was like you got to buy Armor and then download this zombie mod.
Yeah,
It's really
no,
good, and
in
it
that
blew
sense,
up.
absolutely.
Yeah. Like, I feel like games that are similar to that in more recent years, like PUBG,
Yeah,
that was just like
that's the first thing that came into my head when
yeah,
you said
exactly. Which that was, I think that come off of, that was also an Armor mod.
it. Yeah.
Or it was a DayZ mod or something.
Yeah. Well, surely Counter-Strike would be the first of that.
Yeah, no, you're probably right about that. Yeah, Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Or, no, it would be Counter-Strike. I was thinking of some of the other big Half-Life mods.
But they were
But-
all sort of built
No, you're
after.
right. Or like Dota.
Yeah,
Or
Dota, yeah.
there's a few big ones. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I'm thinking in like the second wave of internet, which is still
It was
15 years after
definitely-
Counter-Strike. But
I mean, for the console sort of period, it was sort of a return to, hey, you need a PC to play this thing.
yeah, because my memories of DayZ and Arma 2 is having a laptop, buying Arma 2, and it being nowhere near powerful enough to run that game.
No.
Nowhere near. It's like probably an Intel Celeron from about 15 years ago.
See, I was playing it on an Alienware M15 or something, or whatever the hell it was back then.
That dates it saying Alienware computer.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
I mean, they still sell them, but it's not like
I
what it
remember having
was.
the color changing wallpaper on my Dell school computer because I was like, this is hectic.
But yeah, the thing would sound. I mean, you've described your PS4 like this. It sounded like a jet engine.
Oh,
trying to
that
run
thing,
the damn
that thing got its use out of it. I'm very happy with my
What
PS4.
a
Mine was second hand as well. Like
What
that
a
thing
fall
got
from
thrashed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Alienware, bro. Alienware, like when I thought PC gaming for
That was
about a
it.
decade, it was Alienware.
The laptop I had, the Alienware, whatever it was, my mate Brendan had bought it.
Yeah.
He used it for maybe 2 years, I'm gonna say, and then I bought it from him. It was good for the time. Had like a 2060 something in it.
Jesus.
Oh, that's not even that old then.
No, it
Okay.
wasn't. But it was, from memory, it was one of the last ones they built before Dell took them over completely.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I know that
once-
Dell owns them now.
Yeah, once Dell sort of like stepped in completely, their build quality and their sort of quality assurance as well, like it all just went.
Dell is one of the most confusing companies to me in the world. There's no secret, we haven't really hidden it. We work somewhere that will sell computers.
Yes.
Harvey
De-
Norman.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we're all Jehovah's Witnesses. Dell computers get returned so often,
Yeah,
and they're
they do.
shit.
Yeah.
Dell computers shit, but at the same time, what confuses me is that one of the best computers you can buy is also a Dell. The XPS 13s and 15s. We don't
Yeah.
sell a ton of them because they're usually expensive and then get a ton of them in. They are some of the best computers you can get.
Yeah.
They're probably one of the closest things to like a MacBook competitor in a lot
Yeah.
of ways. And it's like, how do you you're looking at these legs a
Yeah,
bit
it's
there.
weird. He's crossed his legs. It's
That's fine.
meow.
That's fine. But how do you simultaneously be some of the best and the worst at the same time?
There's just no quality
it's-
control. They just
No.
There
pump
isn't.
out
It's
whatever.
like they just pumped in. We're just going to fix
best,
on XPS.
worst, and then you just kind of take stuff away till you get a budget $600 computer.
What do we think? Actually, it's funny. We're not talking about any of the topics that
Oh,
we were talking
absolutely
about,
not.
but I'm all about this. What do you think is the best gaming computer or PC brand?
Oh,
I think I've got an answer. I've had bad experiences with them before, but I've got an
Are you
answer.
going to say MSI?
That's what I would.
Oh, I was
going to
say MSI or Asus. I reckon
See,
more
up
Asus.
until recently, I would have said Asus.
Yeah.
But looking at a lot of the stuff that they've had in the news recently, I'm like, oh,
Why? What's happened?
They've got something doing with like their motherboards for desktops where it like completely zonks out and
Oh,
basically
okay.
fries.
It's like Intel did the other.
Yeah, with the Intel, the previous gen Intel chips. Yeah.
I had someone bring that up to me today.
We are so scatterbrained, we have to explain this. But in the 13th and 14th generation, everyone's going to love how cool this topic is. But the 13th and 14th gen i3, 5, 7, 9, like just the standard Intel CPUs. If you don't know computers, these are in all the new computers. This isn't a small thing. This is a
The
really big deal.
mass-produced chip.
Very
Yes.
big deal. They've got a problem where it's like it shorts itself out almost.
The power control or something for part of the architecture. Yeah, it does not actually.
So basically, it's like probably
it basically overvolts itself.
overcharge itself. And what it does is every time it does this, it degrades the quality of
the
chip,
silicon chip. Yeah.
and it gets worse and worse and worse. And it's something they've had to update later on, like with a actual
they've
firmware
patched
update.
a fix for it.
But the thing is, if this chip's been damaged, it's damaged. It's done.
Yeah, there's no
they can't
fix
fix
for
the
it.
software.
And they're not doing any warranty stuff for it. It's just too bad. We made a bad product. You've got to deal with it.
That's what led into the conversation there with the guy at work. He wanted a computer for his daughter for uni for the next 4 years and wanted to spend $600. And I was like, $1,000 laptop, go for it. This is going to do everything. We're not spending that. And then the son saw that it had like a 13th Series chip or something in it.
Mm.
And he was like, why should we do that? That they're having problems. I was like, yeah, but like they're working on it. It's fine. And then I remember getting literally laughed at when I said, if she wants a computer for uni, just get a MacBook Air. And all three of them looked at me like I was crazy. And I was like, I don't like using MacBooks. It's the best computer for a uni student.
Well, look at this. Amazon, an i9 14th gen. It's a $700 CPU. That's some bullshit that you buy that and it is faulty, mass produced faulty, and they won't replace it, won't fix it. That sucks, man. That really sucks.
It'd be like if you bought a car and the tires just, as they do, they wear down over time, but you can never replace the tires.
No, it's not even like that. It's like our mate, he had a Corolla.
Yeah.
And it was one of the years where it had the paint damage, Jimmy.
Oh, yeah.
And his car was like, if a rock falls on the top of it, it's going
to
fall.
crumble.
It's gonna, because it's so corroded.
Yeah.
Because of the weatherproofing paint was put on shittily in that year. And if you didn't catch it by a certain time, they wouldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, and because it was in Australia as well, Toyota are like, well, the heat's got something to do with it as well, so that you're out.
But you go around the street and you'll see these certain Corollas that will just be all orange on the top.
Yeah, or there's just silver because there's no paint left on it at all. And it's like
I mean,
$1,200
more the rust, but
$1,200 or something to get it fixed and then maybe get repaired for the same price.
And you know what? I saw a thing about this the other day on TikTok. You can come back from things like this and be stronger if you approach it right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's two examples in my head. The one they talked about on YouTube was D-Brand.
Yeah.
Yep.
The company that does all the cases and the skins for like iPads, phones, PlayStations, controllers,
anything
things like
you
that.
have.
Any electronic device, basically. They have had a few things over the years. One of the big things was their Ghost case, the one that wasn't supposed to yellow.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I don't think it was yellowed. I think it was not very sturdy.
No, because they were making it thin and like trying to make it as thin as possible while being protective, and the thing just fell apart or something like that.
So they sent an email saying, "Hey, we fucked up. Every single person that bought one of these, we're giving you the new and improved one for free."
Yeah.
It would have been a lot of money. That honestly, I think it was an amount of time where they probably could have got away and just be like, nah.
That's what I was looking for this when it came out. But every review I saw said the Ghost case isn't worth getting, and then they were working on another one. I was like,
yeah, because the Gen 2,
yeah.
And there's been a couple other things like that. And people really like that brand because they're one of the only ones where it's like upfront, hey, we fucked up, here's your thing. And they're completely honest about a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Their marketing is ridiculous. I love their marketing
very
so
good.
much.
They're just like sort of like a cocky arsehole. That's good.
I can't remember. There was one for like an actual game developer, and I can't remember who it was, but it was an online game. They released an update that basically wiped a whole bunch of people's inventories and stuff.
Yeah.
They went back
I saw
and
this
fixed
the other
it.
day, actually.
They went back and fixed it. And
Yeah,
they're like,
CS:GO.
we're really. Oh, I've seen it happen a few times, but this was a big one. We're really sorry. We've patched it. We've fixed it. Let us know if anything is still missing. As a sorry to the entire player base, here is the next paid update for free. The next like DLC thing that they were putting out, everyone
pretty
got
cool.
it for free.
That's cool. At the same time, it's almost like,
Was the things you lost, if you sold them for real life money, is it worth the DLC price?
yeah, it
well,
depends.
they
It's
were
still
going
good
through
faith,
and
at
trying to
least.
fix all of that. Most people were getting their stuff back. It was just smaller things like maybe you'd,
Hadn't
had
used a
something-
potion from 6 years ago and you just wanted to keep it, sort of thing.
who knows.
Well, the other thing I was going to say, big company-wise, was one of the biggest companies in the world, Microsoft, with the Xbox 360
oh, yeah.
and the Red Ring of Death.
Yeah.
That was, I got a Red Ring. I got mine 5 years after they came out. But I got a Red Ring. It was really common. And they bounced back. They didn't sell the most that generation, but I think the 360 won that generation for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I know.
in my mind, they definitely won it.
I know
'cause
you. I know you're
everyone-
a PS3 boy,
I'm biased, yes.
but like I think that is the only generation Xboxes won.
Yeah.
I think by far they had. I can't believe they bounced back. They made a really risky gamble. There's a really good documentary series about the Xbox and how it was made, like the whole up to the Xbox One, made by Xbox. It's on their YouTube channel. It's like a 5-part series. It is really introspective, and they do not hold punches against themselves. I really recommend watching it.
No.
They talk shit about themselves. They talk shit about Bill Gates. They like heaps of stuff. This person's really rude and mean and blah, blah, blah. It's really good. They don't pull punches.
What I was going to say, and this will sort of tie back into our original topic, was for me, that decade from 2000 to 2010, that's sort of my golden era of gaming. That's when everything that's memorable to me sort of
my brain was developing.
Yeah, I sort of agree.
Because the consoles were out at the time. We had, what did we start with? We started with the
PlayStation.
2000, was it?
December 99, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 30. It's 30 years this year. So it'd be
Well, let me have a look.
94.
94. You
No,
are.
PlayStation 2, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, so we started with the PS2, the GameCube, and the original Xbox. And we ended with
it was
PS3,
PS3,
360, and the
okay.
Wii.
PSP, we had all of it.
Yeah. We were spoiled for
Living.
choice in that decade. We
Good
had
games,
the
good
games that
games.
came out are still ones that are talked about today. They're ones that are like, hopefully some of them like we're going to see again coming out next year. For me, that's the golden era.
Well, I get to relive all
agree.
that again now because they've released the Sly Cooper trilogy on Plus the last month.
We don't want to talk about Sly Cooper, though.
Well, we are. 'Cause I started watching a 2-hour documentary on it last
Oh,
night.
God, what a boring documentary.
No, it's pretty good actually.
I do like going back to, because I don't think of Sly Cooper when I think of Sucker Punch, and it's cool to look back at like.
Well, that was the
original
first
things they
thing in the
made.
video was that they were originally their first game was with Nintendo, and then they're like, we don't want to do it, and then they scrapped it, went to PlayStation, and did Sly.
Which
Yeah.
is still like, there's so many games. I love looking at the history of game studios so much. Like, for example, like similar vein, Naughty Dog. I love going back looking at what they started on. They started on a game for the Saturn, which was a fighting game.
Yeah.
And there was a few other games in there. And then they eventually went to PlayStation, and it's some really cool stuff you can see about them.
If you've ever heard of Gex the Gecko, the
Yeah,
guys
Gex.
who made that, they originated with Lemmings. Like it's...
I mean, I don't really see much of a stretch there. I think the people who did Lemmings, isn't that Rockstar?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, why are you saying Gex then?
I
He was
don't know.
trying to.
You're a freak.
Show how old
I
he
think
was.
that's a split. You always do that, yeah. You look like the pot of greed, bro.
I do, and then if I start debating something, you're just like, nah, you make a noise, and then we
Yeah.
get moving.
Someone else used that pot of greed thing
Yeah, I
as a
saw-
joke, and
it was in like a video the other, like something online.
so funny.
But no, it was Rockstar, yeah.
Yeah, bro looks like the pot of greed sometimes. Do that face real quick.
Oh, that face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Oh, you're good at it. You don't have yellow teeth though.
one of those would be
Thankfully.
hectic
Yeah.
for us to have on the set.
Oh yeah, I'll get a pot of
I
greed.
did see a Yu-Gi-Oh theme song dubstep remix yesterday.
Your move. Yu-Gi-Oh's goated.
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh is I reckon one of the best mobile games of all time. Like, well, not. I'm gonna say we're saying it once this episode. Blatro.
We already
But-
said it once.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
Right at the
That's
start.
the
Best games of the
second.
year.
Yeah, we did. One of the best mobile games I think that has come out is Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links.
As a mobile game, yeah,
Yes.
I'll back that.
It has microtransactions that you do not need to buy. You can easily buy them if you just play the game and you play it like a fair bit. You're gonna have enough gems to keep playing. Like it's because it's got like a fuel thing. Like you need to use this
energy
much. Yeah,
system or
energy.
whatever,
Yeah. But we so often be like, oh, every 3 weeks there's a big event and you get a ton of these gems to open packs to get stuff, and it's if you open this pack X amount of times, you will get everything in it. It's
you
like
got the
this box.
guarantee,
Yeah, this
yeah.
box has got this card in it that you want. Like I remember one when I first started, it was Sphere Karibo everyone wanted, and if you open this box 40 times, you're guaranteed to get everything in it. It would that probably costs about $250 to do if you do.
Yeah, that's what
Oh,
current
well.
games do now. You
But
buy
you can
all,
just keep doing it,
all 20
Yeah.
items in the
and you get heaps.
pre-event thing, and you get the skin. They're like, yeah, you get it for free. It's like,
I
but you
don't
got
care
to
about skins.
you got to spend $15 per pack, and you got to open 48 packs to get the.
Or you spend the same amount of time you would for a basic job, basically,
Yes.
Yeah.
grinding everything.
Going back to golden age of gaming, I reckon the best year for gaming was 2004. Now that you're saying that, because that's one of those years where it's like, I think 2004 and 7
I
were
was going to
some
say
of
2007, yeah, because like when the Wii came out.
The
Um,
Wii was-
2006 was Wii.
Yeah, I know, but most people didn't get it. It came out late 2006. So
you're
most people.
kind of right there.
Any kid with divorced parents had a Wii.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep. We've still got.
You were like 20 at that time.
And I had a Wii. And I had divorced parents.
Yeah, but these things didn't cover. Like, we got the Wii because they got divorced.
I didn't actually get the Wii in 2007. I had the GameCube still.
Of course you did. You had the inverted version of Twilight Princess.
I had the original version, yes.
Yeah, the inverted from the Wii one.
Wii
Sports.
Athens 2004. I forgot that existed.
I forgot the Olympics existed. I have seen that cover before. But yeah, look at just from the top here. We've got Doom 3 came out in 2004, which is a how you going game. It's technologically it was good for the time.
It got a lot of traction when it first came out. It lasted the year, not like the stuff that came out this year where it's like 6 months at most, if not like a couple of weeks. But yeah, it was all over the magazines.
Doom 3,
that year.
Metal Gear Solid 3,
GTA
San Andreas, Half-Life 2, Far Cry, Halo 2, Burnout 3. Gary's one, I don't count that because that was a very rudimentary version of it. Was that a good Prince of Persia?
Wasn't bad. It was a lot darker than the other ones, but I mean, build off the story.
Rome Total War. I know people love that. Unreal Tournament 2004.
Counter-Strike Source.
GT4.
Fable. Paper Mario 1000 Year Door. World of Warcraft. Gran Turismo 4. That was a good year.
I've got Gran Turismo over there in the corner.
In the corner, just sitting there.
God, yeah.
But yeah, that's a good year for games.
Need for Speed
Fire
Underground
Red, Leaf Green. Yeah.
Underground 2.
Underground 2.
Fire Red, Leaf Green.
Spider-Man 2, that was one of the best. I know you want to talk about tie-in games at one point. That's one of the best tie-in games.
Yeah.
My balloon.
Sonic Heroes.
Simpsons Hit and Run.
Hit and Run. That was a massive game.
Sonic Heroes as well, yeah.
Budokai 2.
Red Dead Revolver.
I think Budokai Tenkaichi might have come out that year. I don't remember. But that, I haven't seen a year like that in ages. Pikmin 2.
Yeah.
Is Pikmin 2 good? I never played the Pikmin games.
I really enjoyed that they removed the sort of hard limit on time.
Up your arsenal.
I was just looking at that then.
Yeah.
Best Ratchet & Clank game ever.
Yes.
That's it.
I believe. I agree.
Chronicles of Riddick.
Wasn't that apparently a decent game?
It was a really good game.
Beautiful Joe. That's the year EVE Online came out.
Wow.
God, this is like I'm telling you, I remember
Slide 2?
Slide 2.
Yeah, because the demo for Slide 2
Sid
was
Meier's
on...
Pirates got a remake.
Because the demo of Slide 2 was on Ratchet & Clank 3.
Was that 2 or 3?
2.
Okay, I played that.
Because you hold L1 and you hold the triggers and then it starts does like the first mission and a half of Slide
Sonic
2.
Battle, that's right, yeah.
Brotherhood of Steel.
Yeah, we can forget that one.
Yeah, that was a whole
Viet
game.
Cong.
Ninja Gaiden. The remakes of Ninja Gaiden were good, like the reimaginings, weren't they?
Yeah, they basically were like... They were the Souls-like of the time before the Souls were even a thing.
Look how often games are coming out here.
Red Dead Revolver.
Every 2 or 3 days there's a new game.
Yeah. Again, we were spoiled for choice.
Sonic Advance 3.
Yeah. Still prefer 2.
Whatever. I'm just quickly going through this list.
There's some
Tales of
really good
Symphonia.
Shin
games
Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga. I know people love that one.
Yeah.
Doom 3 there.
Terminator 3. I remember playing that. I don't think it was any
The
good.
Redemption. I don't know if I played that one or not. People don't really like
Barbie as the Princess and the Pauper. Good movie. Don't think the game was any good.
I don't think it was probably any good. Yeah, no. Is there anything else too crazy?
Pokemon Emerald.
Sly 2.
Yeah, Emerald would have come out.
That was Japan release, but I don't think.
Still, whatever.
Battlefront.
Tony Hawk Underground 2. People love that game.
Yeah.
Lilo and Stitch 2 has Marilla Havoc. I did not.
I had the first one on PlayStation 1. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I do remember that game.
Grand Theft Auto Advanced.
Yeah,
that was the top down?
No, that I mean maybe.
It was basically the original Grand Theft Auto.
That's also Chinatown Wars.
The Incredibles game.
The SpongeBob SquarePants movie game is actually pretty goated.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember playing that as a kid. It's a decent game for what it is.
Original Killzone.
Yeah.
Really, Killzone
Incredible
as well.
Games was good. Hero's Tale was also good.
Jack 3.
Yeah.
Jack 3. People love the Jack games.
I like Jack 3 the most.
Budokai 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, people like Budokai 3. Pac-Man World, didn't people like that game?
It did really well. It was a break from tradition, which was really nice.
Super Mario 64 DS.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I didn't know they did a Blinks too.
Yeah, I think they did, yeah.
That first game was so much fun.
Time Sweeper. But I'm
Mr. Pants.
we're nearly done, yeah. I don't count Gary's mod. That's not the full release.
It's the 20-year anniversary of Gran Turismo 4 tomorrow.
Oh, God, yeah. But no, I reckon that is
That's actually quite cool.
a contender for one of the best years. I just remember, just like even just these lists here, like if
Those ones
on the move, hectic.
The amount of time I spent, sorry, Brock, to cut you off, on Spider-Man 2, Ratchet & Clank 3, and GT4 alone, like even after 2004.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you've got those games, and I've got a bunch of them that aren't even on your ones, like Halo 2 and Half-Life 2, and the amount of time I've spent on those.
Yeah.
Fable was the entire reason I bought an Xbox.
See, I had played Fable. Yeah. It didn't hook me.
It did for me. I sunk so much time to that. I mean, look, Peter Molyneux, he can talk a lot of hype. He sold that with his soul.
Isn't there a new Fable coming out next year?
Yeah, they've announced that they're going to be bringing out a new one.
But you know what? 2004 gaming.
Now let's flash forward to 2024's gaming.
Oh, God.
Remake Central.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Not necessarily all of them bad.
Without nostalgia, I reckon games have just gotten a bit worse.
They have, yeah.
More money, less effort.
Yeah, well, there has been a talk, talking about it, Tim Sweeney.
Yes.
Talking about that, Tim Sweeney is the CEO of Epic Games now.
Yes.
He was saying, Brock was telling us that he's been saying that the big thing that he thinks why games they're spending too much money on games, and the reason that a lot of them are failing is because they're not social enough.
Like, this is from a few months ago. He did an interview, but the big thing he said was that basically he felt that most modern games don't have enough social aspects, which I don't know if I agree with all.
Reckon not true, bro.
So, as of 3 months ago, I guess, the games industry is undergoing a generational change, says Epic CEO Tim Sweeney. A lot of games are released with high budgets, and they're not selling. And then later on, he goes on about they don't have enough social aspects to them, which I don't think that the budget is not the reason they're not selling.
I do agree. I think there's a lot of games that have too much of a budget, and there's IPs and ideas. I mean, this seems like it's stampering creativity, but they're putting too much money into certain shit that I don't think people care about.
No. I agree.
And you know what? I don't think you should only put it behind backed IPs, because that's just destroying the industry. I think the people who make money, choices about where this money is getting put, are so out of the loop. Why do you think Concord got all that money?
We just read a whole list of games that did superbly well and are memorable, and everyone remembers them to this day. But they were all games where they were like, we don't care if it sells or not. We just want to put something out.
They want to put out a quality game that people will have fun with, and that's it.
Yeah.
And you know,
it's
the
a
big
bit quirky. We don't know if it's going to sell.
It
sold really, really well.
Not saying that there isn't the passion now.
Need more passion.
Like at least two of those games, Half-Life 2 and Halo 2, I know for a fact, I've seen documentaries about both of those games individually, how much the team loved making those games and how passionate they were about it.
Yeah.
And
I don't think you get that in game studios now unless it's an indie game where they have more creative control.
Exactly. You really don't.
Like, you look at the stuff that comes out of Bethesda at the moment. The people like working there.
Because they can say they work at Bethesda.
It's not what it was.
No.
I feel like the last soulful Bethesda game was maybe Fallout 3.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, I mean, look, I liked Skyrim. I liked Fallout 4. I loved New Vegas.
New Vegas wasn't them though.
Yeah, no, but
the reason why New Vegas did so well was because half of it was people who were at Black Isle Studio who made the original Fallouts and were going to make
Obsidian
Project Van
definitely
Buren.
is the reason that game is great. But without Bethesda making Fallout 3, New Vegas wouldn't have.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I mean, it's a different team, so that point's mute. Yeah.
Starfield. I want to like Starfield. I have enjoyed my time with Starfield. It is. And Todd Howard can go on for Oh,
Yeah.
we want it to be realistic. We wanted to do that.
It's a
You have
freaking
magical
space game.
You have magical aliens running around. You let me make a spaceship that's literally a brick.
Mine was a
like-
penis.
I still haven't played it.
It's probably a lot better now because there's a lot more mods. But
Yeah.
I want to play the Brain Rot Skyrim mod. Have you seen this?
I have, yes.
I
I've
think
got
I
to get
have.
this up. I've got to show you.
I love watching the Twitch clips of the guys who get their chat to voice the NPCs.
Oh, that's cool as well.
Yeah.
That's very cool. But like, you think the games that come out this year that have done really well are games that haven't had a big studio behind them? Like you look at Game Science with Wukong, Mr. Balatro
Yeah.
Man, which is up here in the corner of Tom's
All right, well, just
screen.
we'll get back to what Ben's saying, but we'll just quickly show. This is going to have some guy laughing, Gaul the movie god. Okay.
I know what I'm
New-
going to buy. I'm going to
new-
buy you a second Christmas present.
Yeah, New Year's resolution is we're getting YouTube Red.
Look at Sonic in the background of his video.
Nothing wrong with that.
Actually, I probably shouldn't have showed you this because a lot of these terms probably go over your head. Also, this guy is doing the worst
See
reaction.
if you link the
Yeah.
actual video there.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, like, I've definitely seen the original video.
There it is.
Oh,
Go
so it's his
on, that's-
letterboxed account. God, probably shouldn't have had a reaction. Oh, I've just derailed the whole episode.
Oh no, no, you
Fucking
know
kill me. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Skibbity. This is what the fans
Hey,
want to
you.
see.
You're
Yeah,
finally woke.
us just watching stuff.
You were trying to hop the border, right?
That's well on TikTok.
Gridded right
Yeah.
into that Imperial
This
mob.
definitely did
Same
well
as
on
us.
TikTok.
And that beta over there.
Phantom, you storm cucks. Skibidi was fine until you rizzed along. Simpire was chill AF. If you weren't Malding, I could have copped that whip and been halfway to Gunnerfell. You there.
You know
and
what
me.
gooning is?
We shouldn't be here for real on gods.
Yeah, he does.
Sorry?
Do you know what gooning is?
Yes.
What is
Explain it to the class.
Coming.
it? Isn't that just masturbating?
Yeah, pretty well.
Yeah, close enough.
One thing leads to the other.
Not always.
Not always. Balls do be blue sometimes.
Do you know what edging is, Brock?
I do. I think it's stupid.
He's an Imperial Edger.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that's what I want to play.
Okay,
You
that's
storm
something
cuck.
I have no idea what that fucking means.
What?
Imperial Edger.
I was just
Storm-
because
Oh,
you're
okay.
being Imperial.
I never went Imperials.
Yeah, neither.
I
That's
didn't go the Stormcloaks either. I
that's
completely
funny.
ignored
It's
that
you
part of it.
always like when I play a lot of those games like that. I always get the same people every single playthrough, and I'm like, I'm gonna do something different. And I might do a couple of things different. No.
Did you ever
same
try
people.
the mod where there's like constant battles of them going around? Like there's
The
actual
faction
sieges.
mods?
That would
Yeah.
be cool.
There's
No,
like
I
proper
haven't.
sieges and
I
they've got its
haven't.
own storyline. Definitely look at doing it if you play another Skyrim playthrough.
Yeah.
I do need to do another Skyrim playthrough. The Lizard wants to play some Skyrim.
I'm still waiting for
Cult
them
mod.
to release the Beyond Skyrim mod. That massive world expansion thing that adds in all the
would be
other
cool.
provinces. Like they've been working on the Cyrodiil stuff at the moment. I know Bruma is out, but then again that was
close to
released
Gun
like
us.
he's,
six-
he's losing us. But yeah, no, you're right. I tell you what has been blowing up a little bit. I just know people have been playing it a bit. Is Fallout London?
Yes.
That's what I was going to lead to. Didn't they almost scrap that because there was an update that came out for something?
Oh, that nearly destroyed it or
Yeah.
something. It was I don't know, but that was a mod that was being in the works for a long time.
Yes.
It finally
it's,
came out, and it's fairly well polished from what I've
It's
seen.
really well
All
polished.
the assets are there. They've just got to style
The
a few other
assets.
things.
No,
Yeah.
they've put in
Assets.
they've put in a lot of their own stuff, like a lot of custom stuff and a lot of original stuff.
Which with the Fallout, because it's very stylized, I think that's quite easy to do.
It is, but they've also added in things like dog meat and everything. They've replaced like all the
Monocle
dog
and a top
models.
hat.
Dog
No,
chum.
you've got the like British bulldogs.
That's quite cool, actually.
Yeah. All the robots and everything are like accurate, lore accurate, but like the Robco or whatever isn't sort of in.
Yeah, they
London
weren't.
at
They're
all?
not as big or something. It's
Yeah.
like something else.
That's cool.
I don't know how well British Bulldog I think would be compared to a German Shepherd.
See, when I
Have you
played my
seen a British Bulldog?
yeah,
They explain
pretty-
it away. It's like, oh, there's this mutation thing or something. So they're like,
they can finally
s-
breathe properly.
yeah, it's also the size of a fucking car. So
Yeah.
it's like,
See,
Oh,
I-
so it's like the mutated dog, like the mutant hounds from Fallout 4 then.
they're bigger and bulkier. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool then. I remember I got one of the Creation Club things when I played Fallout 4 for the first time was a golden retriever as my or a Labrador or something as my dog meat.
I like that, but imagine doing a mod to make your dog even more basic.
It was a free pack. I had to take advantage of it.
Oh yeah, all the
That
bloody
is so
damn
much
I
stuff to it.
understand those kind of things because, like, when I had a golden retriever, when like playing Fable 2, for example, and you get your choice of like, hey, what sort of dog do you want? Laura, my partner, would always pick a border collie. I'd always pick a golden retriever because they're the dogs we had at the time.
oh.
Oh yes, you have a girlfriend. We get it.
Yeah. That
Like
just,
people
you just
pick
ruined
stuff
that, yeah.
that like immerse themselves in it further.
Yeah, to make it.
Yeah,
a bit
but I mean,
more
like, if
personalised.
I'm modding Fallout, and the only mod I have is the Golden Retriever mod, bro, I think you need to get a different mod.
Fair.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of other mods to pick from as well, but I wanted to try getting.
What
the
about
platinum.
Big Titty mod? I know Brock's got that.
Oh, 100%.
For, I can name it for Skyrim. It'd be the
Yeah.
Kalantes.
Look at this.
Beautiful bodies mod.
I've heard him say this multiple times before, unprompted. So that's hectic.
It had a lot of other uses other than just the obvious.
What,
The
gooning?
the obvious was what most people downloaded it for. But
Which
then
was? Well, I got the one with the smaller hips because it's a smaller hitbox.
No, but it had a bunch of other stuff for like changing up how the actual face selection and everything worked. So you could actually have
made you
better
more-
They're not
More
picking those
waifu.
mods. They're not picking those mods to look
Oh,
at.
you're-
Our
No,
face.
that's what I said.
you're
Most
getting
people
it, though.
weren't downloading it for that, but it had a lot of other uses outside of the obvious.
What's the obvious?
I already said
Goonaville?
what the obvious was.
Goonaville?
Sure, whatever.
I don't think I've ever Goonaville to a game like that.
No. It's a very
Slippery slope.
It is a slippery slope, but there's also slippery desk chair as well. But like people have that wasn't a thing 10 years ago. Like yeah, you'd have the big titty mods and stuff like that, but
Oh, they definitely were 10 years ago because I had the
It-
big titty mods installed on
yeah,
my...
but I mean like there's
And
a
I was
lot
gonna
more of
say-
it now.
I was
That's
going to
the
say,
first
I
mod.
definitely
No,
know
I
that
feel
there
like it
were
was
ROM
bigger back
hacks
then.
for like the Super Nintendo and that to add in stuff like that, and these were like
Triangle titties.
Do you reckon that like sexual mods and stuff like that were bigger 10 years ago than they are now? Still a thing now, but I feel like that was like you'd go on Fallout Nexus and half the shit would be like
what I'll
nude
say.
mod and stuff like
I
that.
don't
would
think
throw up.
it's so much that they were bigger back then. I think that
Better.
we were of an age where we noticed them more.
Bro, you were like 26.
My point still stands.
I'm 26 now. Who?
No, I think
who evolved?
no. For me, it would have been like Oblivion rather than Skyrim. But like,
Ah, yes.
I definitely think there was maybe more of them coming, going out and like
More
being
than
put
were
on.
coming.
Oh god, yeah.
There was definitely more
Gooning,
sort of
perhaps.
Yeah, there was there. Yeah, no, I just feel like that was more when mods weren't as much of a highlighted thing. That was one of the big things. Was always that.
yeah.
When people said mods, there wasn't like, oh, what weapon are you gonna get? It was like, how big are the tits gonna be?
Honestly, yeah, I
also
think there was a
mod-
bit more of a connotation. For
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
There was more accessibility to get into modding as well. So you had
Oh,
a
yeah.
bigger creator
Yeah.
base.
I will say one thing I have loved in recent years is, sorry, I'm burping because I am drinking something that might have an alcoholic content. Okay. Passion flavored. One thing I have loved in recent years is Steam Workshop.
Yeah.
Absolutely love Steam Workshop. I remember going back in the day, installing mods and having to download independent installers and then put this in this file and make sure this is deleted. This doesn't work with this mod, so make sure these aren't conflicting. It was a massive thing. But these
Spend
days,
2 hours setting it up before you can actually play
Yeah.
the
half
game.
the
how you
time it
wanna
would
play
just be broken and it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nexus Mod Manager made a lot of that easy or
Yeah.
easier. I shouldn't say easy. But
And then
yeah,
like which ones you want to load in what order and things like that.
yeah,
But like Steam Workshop is
it changed the
hectic.
landscape. Like when that hit Skyrim, because Skyrim was the first thing to have it fully implemented.
I think
wasn't
so,
it?
yeah. No,
Yeah.
that and Gary's mod, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was massive. When they started importing everything from Nexus over to it as well.
Yeah.
And so you could, like, you didn't even have to, like, have a login or anything at Nexus. It was just, hey, here's all these mods. And
The
you could straight away just, like,
Best
yep.
use, I think, is for a lot of VR games. For example, one of the best VR games is Blade and Sorcery, and it's just like a
I
medieval.
still want to play it.
Oh, I've got it. We will set up this space and have it VR ready once we have the internet sorted. Or maybe what we can do, I mean, I don't know, I don't talk about this on the podcast. We can convert one of the laptops I've got up into a VR machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be a bit more of a
There's
thing to do.
a VR. I got reminded of it yesterday. There's the VR place at the big shopping centre near here.
Yeah, we can have a VR place here though, so I don't care about that.
Yeah, I know that, but like there are a lot. It's a lot more to it than just like us
Yeah.
putting it.
Well, I mean, and this area would be pretty good for VR.
Yeah.
But
Wouldn't be too bad, yeah.
Blade and Sorcery, being able to go in the menus and just I can just press download on that. It's in the game right now. I don't have to leave the game.
Yeah.
That game was already infinite fun. Adding stuff on top,
It also, my big use for it outside of Skyrim was for Ark Survival Evolved, because I was running a server for a good many years. I had a bunch of mods on there. Anyone who joined onto it, they didn't have to go and find the mods. It just like, oh, you're joining this server?
automatically put it in.
Here's the mods it's
That's
using.
cool.
We just download all of it straight to the thing. It made it so much easier. I didn't have to give anyone wanting to join, hey, you need to have these mods installed. No, it's just, here's the login.
Yeah.
Away you go.
100%. Yeah. Like stuff like that, just little tweaks over the years, made stuff so much better. So much better.
Because what year did Workshop come out? 2013 or 14?
It was something like that, but stuff's still not implemented. I think only recently they added Workshop for like Half-Life 2. But I mean, it's a cool thing that you don't need to. Today I had to explain what Steam was to an old man. It was very
It's the
interesting.
stuff that comes out of the kettle, right? And the
No, he knew what Steam was, and he was like, "Oh, I can buy a farming simulator for this much, or I can buy it on a 1 year subscription." And I was like, "What? You can't buy a game subscription?" And he's like,
Steam,
included in.
"Yeah, on Steam." I'm like,
Interesting.
he's like, "Yeah, it says you can buy the game or subscription." I don't understand it.
Well, that goes
And
back
I
to
was
you
like-
renting games instead of.
Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
what's going on? I jumped on. No wonder he's never touched Steam before. It was probably the worst game for him to jump onto because you can buy the game for $75 or you can buy it for $135, where it is Farming Simulator and then the year one pass. So he was thinking it was a year subscription, which is more than fair that he thought that.
Yeah.
It's not explained well.
poorly
No,
explained,
especially
yeah.
if that's the first experience you have, and you're like, what way do I go? Do I subscribe to the game? No, you don't. You own it,
Yeah.
but
Very big quotation marks.
yes,
there.
exactly.
I mean, this different editions thing, this is something we were talking about just before we started recording about how, I mean, after 2010s would have been when you start having all those different editions of games, some of which have completely
God.
different stuff in them. New Vegas is actually the
Well,
one I remember where, depending on where you pre-ordered it, you got different content packs.
I was going to
for
say
it.
New Vegas went a different way. I feel like there was a period of maybe 4 or 5 years where it was the game, and then a year and a half later was the Game of the Year edition, and the Game of the Year edition usually came with all the DLC and everything. It was just
and all the pre-order bonuses
this
from
is
different
everything.
retailers.
Here you go. I bought that for New Vegas. That was my first experience with it. Loved it. But now you can't buy versions of games that will have everything unless you're buying like COD Vault Edition, $140 extra or something, and you
Yeah.
get a few skins and then the season pass, and it's like,
And then they're like, you get X amount of COD points for free, and you're like, all right, cool. Where are my COD points? Oh, you get them for finishing the battle pass. It's like because you get that along the 100 tiers, and you're like, so I can not afford the battle pass.
microtransactions
next
do my
season.
head
Yeah.
in.
Again.
They do my head in.
Before 2010, golden age of gaming, no microtransactions. I mean, I suppose they were there.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sure they would have been, but
not the
nowhere near as
same. Not the
relevant.
same.
And they weren't as easy to get to.
No.
We had a little argument about that on an episode once. Yeah, but like, yeah, you're right. I think 2000 to 2010 was the best generation. I think the best generation, I keep always forgetting it's the 6th or 7th or all those, but it was the Wii 360 PS3 generation.
Yeah.
We grew up in that being our like more prominent one while we were early teens, which I know that's usually formative for some people, but I truly think trying to put any sort of nostalgia or bias aside, I truly think that is the best generation.
Yeah.
And that generation
the
was like
PS2
when I
is very close.
yeah.
See,
But the
I
thing
have
is-
more memories with. I can name more PS2 games than I think I can PS3 games.
I think I can
Other
do
than,
more
like-
360 than PS2, but I
Well,
think
yeah, same.
I think the
same
reason
idea.
why the Xbox 360, PS3, and Wii, not as much the Wii, but why that generation wins is because it was the first usable, accessible online console gaming for everyone. There was Xbox Live, but
I just realized you did say less so for the Wii, and I was like, yeah, Nintendo's never
it was-
done a
it was
good
honking.
online thing.
there was online for PS2, but it was like
I tried
basically
it
like
once for
peer to
Ratchet and
peer.
Clank. It was not good.
For me,
it
it's
was
always been
honking.
how easy is it to browse their online store as opposed to how many.
Oh well, there
online
wasn't
devs
an
have.
online store. It was each individual game.
The Wii had an online store.
No, I'm talking about the
It was
PS2.
shocking.
We're talking
but-
about the PS2.
Okay. Yeah.
You had to buy extra things to get on the internet with a lot of those consoles. Like the PS2,
Yeah.
you needed the Ethernet adapter, and then if you had the different
If
type
you
of
bought
Ethernet,
the original fat,
I mean,
I think it already came with the Ethernet
Yeah.
adapter, and it came with a hard drive.
online gaming was technically around before that, and I'm
Yeah,
not
but it was
talking about
PC.
No, I'm not talking about computer gaming. The Famicom had an online adapter.
Yeah, but that was like Japan, and it wasn't online. It wasn't like
The
the
Genesis had an online adapter.
yes, or actually Sega TV.
Yeah.
One of the best themes ever. Have you seen the Sega TV theme? I'm gonna show it off the
Yeah.
Ben.
Yeah.
Sega TV. I think it was Sega TV, or was it something else?
No, Sega TV sounds right.
No. Oh,
that
is it?
picture is so familiar.
Let me see. Sega Channel.
Yeah,
Sega Channel. It was.
be prepared. It's very very.
Oh no,
90s.
it wasn't. It wasn't. It was something else. Sega Channel is one of the things. I love the sound. The sound chip for the Genesis I prefer more than the NES so much.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. there.
Far out. It's not Sega Channel. It's something. It's got like the world on the map. Like it's from space, and it's. Oh fuck! What is it?
The Universal logo.
Sega.
Just be hella specific.
I'm trying to think of it, but basically it was a device where you could plug it in and you could download games onto it through the
kinda
internet,
cool.
and it was like, this month this game's on here, or this month this game's on here. The Famicom one you're talking about,
The SATA-view or whatever it was.
yeah, that was more. It was like
It was
for
Japan
it was for a
only.
businessman.
Didn't we talk about this? I swear we've mentioned this before.
Maybe.
No, I showed you the original trailer, the advert for
Yeah.
it.
Because it was
Okay.
a thing. It was like, oh, you can check what's going in the stock market from your Famicom,
Yeah,
and you can see
it
what the
had all
weather
of that
is and
stuff,
stuff like
but-
that.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it
just like the
was-
Wii had.
But
Yeah, the
again,
Weather
Brock's being
Channel.
like, actually, no, this had online. We're talking about gaming, like
Yeah.
gaming. I'm playing with a mate.
Because I remember my PS2 would.
The earliest console was the Dreamcast. I could do that, I think.
I think
yeah.
my PS2 would freeze up if I accidentally went like LAN mode when I was trying to load up split screen Ratchet and Clank 3. It would just freeze up, and then I'd have to restart the entire console.
Yeah.
I didn't have the adapter plugged in or anything like even remotely close to an
Close to
internet
that, yeah.
connection.
I need it. You guys keep talking. I need to find the thing that I'm talking about.
I remember playing, I think, the Batman game they had on that console. I've now lost the name of it. The
Batman
Genesis?
Forever.
Yeah, no, I had Batman Forever, but it was a weird thing. I'm gonna look it up. But
Was it the one? Do you remember who the villains were? Because
it was a side scroller, and he had the blue suit.
the blue suit.
Batman. I think it was Genesis.
It's either Batman and Robin or Batman Forever.
I don't know. It was.
it's
I
the-
can picture the title. I can picture the cover in my head, but I'm gonna have
So
a
it would
look
either
for
be
it.
that or like Revenge of the Joker or something like that, which was okay, but
Was it Sega CD?
Is
No,
it,
that
it's not
was-
the Sega CD thing. Maybe I'm thinking of.
That
the
that cover
Saturn?
looked really cool.
No, Sega. I mean, the. It was no Sega CD. Bro, as someone who wasn't like alive during this stuff, why do I know more than you? Yes, it was this theme.
that one.
Ah, shut up. Here we go. Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh, here we go.
I think
How
it was-
90s is this?
yeah. Okay, so yeah, Revenge of the Joker.
Yeah, Revenge of the Joker. I remember where I had it. I think it was my babysitter's house at the time or something. All the kids would get, like the younger kids would go to bed, and then I would stay up and play.
Yeah.
Hey, for someone, okay, this is 1993. I wasn't born for another 5 years. I just doxed myself. I was born in 98. This is so nostalgic for me. It's just so strange.
Making out of the CD tray with this one.
Yeah. It's stuff like this. I don't know why. I get so. We talked about this before with yesterday in the car.
Yeah.
Honestly, this music's really reminded me of the original Road Rash for some reason.
I love that game.
Yeah.
I had it on PS1. It was so much fun. Speaking of like old school intros and stuff, with the 30th anniversary, they brought all the
I had
startup noises for
the PlayStation. I was talking about, yeah.
Turning it on and having the old school Sony logo, Sony Entertainment, and then the big noise come on. So nostalgic.
Example, that is like, I don't know why. I was like, I didn't have a PlayStation as a kid.
It
I had
just
a
hits
PS2.
that sense
Didn't have a
memory
P-
of
yeah,
just
it's
like
I
I'm a
remember
kid
playing.
again.
Yeah, I remember playing a PS1 a handful of times at my cousin's house because my uncle bought a PS1, not the PlayStation, the PS1, the round one. I think he actually did have a PlayStation.
We
as
had a
well.
PlayStation. They had the big square boy.
Yeah, I remember him
that's
having the
what I
square
had.
one as well. But and playing Crash Bandicoot on it and just remembering that loading screen, just sitting on their bed. Oh, core memories.
That's exactly what I
Core
was about to
memories.
say. All I remember is seeing that white with the orange logo.
Yeah.
And then immediately afterwards, it's Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dun, dun. That's all I can remember.
Yeah,
Yep.
that wasn't too bad. And then same with Banjo Kazooie. I've got core memories of playing Banjo Kazooie and Banjo Tooie.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, that generation was hectic. I don't think they're better. I don't think they are than what we're saying with the 360 PS3. But it's
It's very close.
I think for a lot of people that was a very important generation.
I think it definitely depends on what age you were started playing those games and then when you stopped and you upgraded. Because I got on a PS3 very late. I didn't have one till Black Ops had already been. I played that on the Wii for the first time. Like I didn't play Black Ops 1 until a couple
I
of
feel
years.
like a lot of people were, but that generation lasted longer. But what I was gonna say is, I feel like that was more of a transitional generation. PS1, Dreamcast,
going from it was moving on to the online
64.
sort of.
Well, that and also turning games into a bigger medium, because that's when you started seeing like your Metal Gear Solids, which was more of a narrative style
Gaming's an
game.
art form, not
Yes,
just
exactly. You're starting to see more in-depth games like your Resident Evil. It's like, oh, we got some like proper horror and like Silent Hills, and you're starting to see a lot more stuff that isn't just
it's an interactive movie
Yes.
rather than
Yes,
Yeah.
like it's an experience.
Yeah.
We sell experiences here, not products. And I feel like that was a very important one for that. The PS2 was like refining it, and there was some games that were amazing.
focus
for it.
on multiplayer.
But I feel like
and-
and I feel like the 360 PS3 Wii was where it was like, all right, we've got it sorted. Let's just make the bangers.
Yeah.
There is, don't get me wrong, the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube, I think more PS2 and Xbox, mostly PS2, had some amazing games like that. And I think some that can't be topped. But I feel like as a whole for the industry, it was the next generation where it was
Yeah.
more common.
Because I was going to say, like, it's where I remember all the last sort of refuge of the oddity games, like the ones that were, particularly for the Wii, you had
Yeah,
all
we
the
talked
ones
about that a
where
while
just
ago.
like, hey, we have an idea, we want to put it on your console. Yeah, sure, put it on the
Yeah.
console. Nowadays, it's like, you might see it on Steam if you're lucky. If the algorithm happens to favor you for that one moment. Other than that, it's just like you're not going to see it on any of the consoles because it just gets buried and no one hears about it if you even put the effort in to get it published.
Yeah.
Because I think they did a lot with the technology with those consoles as well. Because you've got like the Wii did the Wii remote and the proper motion sensing. I know the Kinect with the Xbox and that too, but like having Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort come out and just being able to be like, I can sword fight my friend in the living room and it's hectic.
Yeah.
And then you got like the vibration and dual sense thing for the DualShock.
Oh, I don't.
Sucked.
I think it sucked.
The 3-axis or whatever it was.
6-axis.
6-axis. Definitely sucked, but
I went back like, 8 years ago, I bought a PS3 from EB Games. Fuck you, EB Games. But they had pre-owned ones still at that time. It was like the only place.
Yeah.
And I bought that, and I had Ratchet and Clank Tools of Destruction. And it's a part where you got to fall down with the 6-axis controller and dodge missiles. The controllers were fucked. You can make it through, but it's like, bro, I've got new controllers and this thing doesn't fucking work, and I'm just dying
Do you remember? I can't remember if it was for Ninja Gaiden or Dead or Alive, but the advert that came out, like sort of advertising both the game and the 6-axis controller.
No.
So it was an older Japanese guy playing the game. I think it might have been Ninja Gaiden. You don't see the screen at all. You just see him with the controller, just that constantly. And then it changes around to show you what's on the screen, and it's one of the female characters in the game. And every time he lifts it up,
tits go up or something.
Go up and down. Yeah,
That's hectic.
but that was the entire advert. No gameplay, no sort of hey, here's what the story is or anything like that. Just he's a pervy guy playing with some AI tits.
Yeah.
Like
I think the best use of that, the 6-axis was for racing games because everyone used to do it. My sister included was just like, oh, we're gonna play a racing game. Use the sticks to move. Whole body leaning left to right.
Yep.
yeah,
Did my fucking
That's
head
why
in.
that's why Mario Kart with the Wii.
That's
the
why
wheel,
it was so good.
It went so
yeah.
not necessarily good, but one of the reasons I think it sold so well.
And
It
that
was so easy to pick up for younger
$25
kids.
that
yeah.
$25 add-on for the actual wheel itself would have sold like fucking nothing.
Oh yeah, God yes.
But I think with the racing games having the very really shit rotational axis on it, it worked enough that you could get by and say this is a feature. It wasn't well implemented at all.
Here's a really quick topic. What was your favorite accessory for the Wii?
My shotgun was
suck with this shit, bro. I like a nunchuck.
the nunchuck was cool. I liked my Wii shotgun that I got from Kmart.
Yeah.
Wasn't
like
the Wii
yeah.
branded one. It was an off-brand one that they were like, this is $25. Here's a Black Ops 1.
My
That's
favorite
what I had.
one was I had the Nerf game for the Wii. It came with a Nerf gun.
Oh yes,
but you could-
25-year-old man.
But you could. How dare you? You could
That's
take the
hectic.
actual the dart part out of it and put the Wiimote into it, and then it was your gun in the game.
That is cool. Do you remember a crossbow for one of them?
Yes, because you could get
Link's
a Link's crossbow
Yeah.
training.
Okay,
Yeah.
yep. Whole weird. They made a whole game about training crossbow, but all right.
I had a Wii, and then I got given one by my uncle, and he had Link's crossbow training, and then one of those sort of knockoff like party games made by Nintendo. He made like those party games where they have a bunch of it,
Yeah.
and they're like really small little things, but they
There was
actually
a
weren't.
whole bunch of them.
Yeah, but they actually
crammed
weren't
into it,
that-
Yeah.
They weren't that bad.
Yeah.
It's like a fishing one in there and that. But I remember getting Link's crossbow training and like, I've got a Wii here and I've got the two most boring games. It was fun, the party game thing, but it's like once every.
I don't
Blue
feel
Moon.
like I had a lot of Wii games. Like I remember
Yeah, neither.
because you didn't need them. You had Wii Sports. We
Yeah.
had Wii Fit. We had, I think, Wii Sports Resort when that came out. And then I think one year I got Black Ops and the Avatar game they released when you could stand on the board and like fly the...
Oh yeah.
Oh, the,
I don't remember any other games we had other than, I think, maybe Mario Kart or Mario and Sonic at the Olympics.
You know, I don't think I remember many as well. I had Wii Sports, like every single person. I think there's more copies of Wii Sports out there than Wii's.
I might buy that vinyl as well.
It's not real. You got to make it yourself.
Oh,
Yeah, no, Nintendo are never going to put a vinyl out.
that sucks.
Or if they do, it'll be $1 billion. I'm gonna get a.
I mean, they put out their music streaming service, but
Oh, yeah, exactly. See, look. But I had Wii Sports. I had Guitar Hero 3. Sorry,
True, I forgot about
Yeah.
the Guitar Hero. I never had it, but I know my cousins
I
had
had
like the
Guitar
Rock
Hero
Band
3.
set up.
I had Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam.
oh yes,
That wasn't a bad game.
it was not at all.
And I remember vivid memories of going into Game, one of the old game shops that we had in Australia. It's still in the UK, I believe. Game, purple, black accented
That's what I,
interiors and everything. It was
Really
very,
cool.
very dark. Now that I think about it. The whole shop was like a dark,
it was a
moody,
moody
vibe.
thing. It's got to have
Um,
sanity vibes.
Yes, but like even more dark
Yeah.
and moody. The inverse of EB Games with its bright red and white everywhere.
yeah,
Plastic.
But I remember going in there saying I wanted Smash Bros, and they didn't have it, and they got me Super Mario Galaxy, and I played it a couple times and my mum wouldn't let me play it anymore. My mum got used to get so strict on gaming and be like, you can get half an hour a week. It's like, what?
You spent $400
Half an hour
on
a
this.
week. It's like, bro, what? Yeah, exactly.
It's like a month's worth of spare money from your
Yeah, like there'll be,
pay.
be stuff like that, yeah.
I had so many Wii games, but then I was older. I was living out of home at that
Man-child,
point.
yeah.
yeah.
So I had
disposable income.
very little, actually. That's going to be a tale for another time, but I got royally screwed over by our assistance programs.
Well, I
I'll
mean,
explain later.
if you got an assistance programs and you're buying games, there's already a problem.
No, it was
There's
more
a common
that-
link here between the two of them.
I'll explain later.
I'm sure you
There's a
will.
game theory. We'll talk about later.
Game rant.
No, I had
perhaps.
like close to 30 Wii games or something, but honestly, I used it more often to play GameCube games.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right, because you could play
Backwards
you could
compatible.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
and the controllers as well, because the side of it opened. You could plug 4 GameCube
Yeah, that was
controllers in
cool.
it.
That was
And
very cool.
the memory sticks from it as well. The memory card, sorry.
I still love that you can put, if you lost or your sensor bar broke because that cable was the thinnest thing in the world,
You could just put candles.
candles in front of it. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
cool.
I need to put the sensor bar on this TV.
Yeah.
So we're going to put the Wii and everything on that little... We've got a TV in here. You guys don't need to know about this. All 4 of you that are listening.
It's a $25,000 TV.
It's definitely not. I've got one upstairs like that.
What was I going to say? Did you ever play the Tony Hawk like ride game where they gave you
No.
like a Wii Fit ball, but it was a skateboard?
it's a skateboard. Yeah, there's a viral video online of I think it was actually some of the guys at Rooster Teeth back in the day going around on it, and one of them
Would've been,
one,
yeah.
one of them face plants. It went viral. No one knew it was them. It was just like they just put it out, and like they're on the board and they slip over and face plant when it first came out. It was
Trying
like
to use that thing on
2009.
carpet, no traction, but they want you to pretend to push. If you hit that thing at just the wrong angle, that thing's
You
getting
were
kicked
gone,
out
yeah.
and you're
it just
going
goes
flying.
crazy. Yeah.
God,
yeah.
that was cool.
Back when there was like gimmick stuff with games, you don't see that anymore.
But
But,
like
I mean,
all
that's
of the
for
majority of it worked
best.
really well. Like the Wii Fit board,
Yeah.
very, very niche. You got the fitness games that had the Biggest Loser games. You could do the games where you balance and do that sort of stuff.
Zumba.
Which Zumba as well.
All of the Rabid Party games, they had modes on there where it's
Fucking
like,
hate the
downhill
Rabbids.
skiing or something. You had to sit on the Wii Fit board and like.
Rabbits
See,
suck,
with
bro.
They do.
I liked the party games. The actual like
I hate as a
the
kid.
Rayman version.
As the kid, I hated them. I'm like, these annoying fucking rabbits. Get the fuck this shit off of my
The only-
fucking screen, fucking cunt. That's what I said as an 8-year-old. Well, the rabbits weren't out when I was 8.
No. I just remember them appearing at one point and
Yeah,
I
they're
don't
just
remember
there.
them leaving.
Well, no,
I
because
remember seeing
they
it
were
at EVA, not EVA,
introduced.
JB Hi-Fi.
They were introduced
Yeah.
as a like part of the Rayman series. You
Yeah.
had 2 games, and then they started getting all their own spin-offs.
And then Rayman
And
just
Ubisoft
died.
just went nuts with it.
There's
This is, you go.
in one of
Yours
the
is gonna be
rainbow
boring,
maps.
but you go.
Yeah, in one of the rainbow maps, you shoot a log and there's 3 rabbits sitting there watching you, just sitting at spawn. You just
Oh,
turn
that's
around,
cool.
shoot. It's like, some of the stuff they've got in that game for Ubisoft are just it's ridiculous.
Yeah. We'll talk about a different time, but Ubisoft's going under basically at the moment.
Yeah.
It's just being held aloft by
Yeah, basically. But
and Siege.
half the Ben, you are holding it up.
Yeah, my bank account goes straight into buying skins.
The amount of nostalgia stuff we're talking about.
It's nothing to do with this year's gaming.
Yeah,
No,
who
which-
cares?
Which goes to show just how lackluster
forgettable.
it was, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, we love you, Blatro. We said it again.
Yeah. And Wukong.
But I mean, giving me nostalgia again, and we're talking about like game shops and stuff. Do you guys remember walking into like JB Hi-Fi in like 2009 or something, and it was just like, just the amount of shit around,
It was
like,
just
at the-
pop culture.
but like
Back when they had actual PC games on the shelves. and
PC
everything.
games, and
Yeah.
they'll be like, you'd walk in and it would just be like,
I still have.
whoa. I remember going in and buying a sorry to cut you off, like 2007. They used to have like, you know how they got like those things in the middle of the aisle with like all shit in it?
Yep.
They used to have one for like
Discount gaming, like the
No,
discount
that-
bins, or
no, like Primer. Yeah, they had the discount bins. I remember buying Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts and Halo
Yeah.
Wars out of that thing, 2 for $40 or something like that.
The 2 for $40 deals would always go so
They
hard.
would bang.
they were. Good,
Yeah. But it was like Primer strategy guides and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I got a Pokédex. It was a Pokédex book.
I still have it.
Yeah, is it like a?
It might be in my car.
Is it like a narrow one like
Why
that?
is it in your car?
Because it's in a box of stuff that I'm supposed to donate.
Oh god, is it like a narrow one like that?
Yeah, that's what my
It's
old
the
cheap
original
books used to look like.
Original 150. Mine was a
Oh,
little bit
it's probably
wider.
like a few generations more.
I didn't even
Yeah,
mean
the
151.
cheap books. Oh, bro, cheap books. Yep,
I
that would be
found,
like that.
we were
Yep.
cleaning out some stuff the other day, and I found an old Prima strategy guide for gold and silver.
I remember my mate's emerald one. Yeah, like
Yeah,
the big
I had the
one.
emerald
Yeah.
one.
Oh god. Yeah, that's nostalgia. You'd go to EB Games or JB, and they'd be on the shelf with like next to the
Yeah,
games.
I
Oh
still have.
man.
I've got the Prima strategy guide still for Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, and I'm pretty sure I've still got the one for Wind Waker, Legend of
Yeah,
Zelda.
moths have eaten half that shit.
No, I kept them pretty well. They're being
Of course you did.
in
I
a sealed tub.
I've got a cheap book up there somewhere. It was like 1,001 games, and they gave you like a few cheats from all of them from like 2006 to 2009. And it
Yes.
just you went to the
Yep.
back of it, found the census thing, and
Index
just
to
went
see,
to,
yeah. No, I remember the exact same thing.
Master Chief on the cover, and then you
yeah.
had Mason. It was hectic.
Oh, I remember that so well. We need to do like a Sydney day where we go to like some more like nostalgic like
We
gaming
really,
something.
really
Like,
do.
because
We need to save up some money first.
Sydney's what $10 the drive.
Oh, not
No,
that.
just
Just
for the
spend
actual
money.
stuff,
when
we
we're
won't
Oh,
in
we don't have to
Sydney.
spend money. We could
I'm
just
not
film
going
it.
there and not.
I was about
Yeah,
to say,
yeah,
we do.
Yeah, we
What are you
do.
talking
We
about?
do.
We do.
As the person who saves the most money.
Spends the most money.
Well, he's got to save it to spend it.
Yeah, exactly. See, Brock's all about it. But on that vein, something, not trying to drag on about JB Hi-Fi, but one of the most nostalgia hit things I've ever had was the bigger JB Hi-Fi that's over near our studio here. Till about 2 or 3 years ago, you would drive by and it had a big thing out the front saying, "We sell consoles, PS2, Xbox,
Yes.
Xbox 360, PS3."
It was there forever.
And it's like I remember looking at that and it just brings me back.
I wonder if
brings
they've
me
still
back.
got it there.
No, they've fully redone the front of that.
No, but like, was it what sort of sign was it? Was it a painted
they
sign?
might-
huge one.
They might have painted over it. It was
Okay,
like
'cause I
painted
was
on the
gonna
wall.
Say, if it was like a placard or something, we should
I
try
still
and grab it.
yeah,
Just walk in and be
just
like,
run and rip it
"Hey,
off the wall. Yeah,
can we have this, please?"
By placard, it's probably the size of that wall there.
I don't care. I'd happily have it sitting here
You
behind
thought
me.
your
Yeah.
house.
Exactly. Why would I
Yeah.
happily store it
Um,
here?
Yeah, no, I still remember, man. Shout out to I'm from a part of Australia called the Epic Central Coast. That when I grew up, going to the local JB and shopping centre was Erin Affair, and I'd go to Game and EB Games
Yeah.
and JB, and just thinking back to that time period. Oh man, I sound like a fucking old.
You sound like Brock.
Yeah, I do. I sound like Brock, but man, just
That was cringe.
I don't
if I
care.
could go back to just, I know it sounds so dumb, but like just a day walking around those shops,
At that,
2006 or 7 or something, even maybe even
Take
earlier.
$1,000, invest in Bitcoin while you're there, and just.
Oh, I mean, that would have been pre-Bitcoin that by only by a few years, but oh man,
Invest in iPhones.
yeah, Apple.
remember Grace Brothers?
Oh, Jesus.
That was what
Just
Maya
before
was.
we get off
yeah.
it, I was going to say my clearest memory of a probably the same JB Hi-Fi you're talking about, like with the
With the
sign
mural,
out the
yeah.
front.
Never went
Walking
to that one
in
as a kid.
when they were still doing PC games and buying Arkham City
Yeah.
Game of the Year edition.
The Harley Quinn
Oh,
DLC.
it's only been like, I mean, it's still like 10 plus years ago, but it's not even like
It's
a
not
super,
as
yeah.
old ago, no, but like it was when they still had a whole row of PC
That's how I got
PC
my
games,
the
yeah.
Prince of Persia game. We went there
But
and
that's
looked cool. I grabbed it.
yeah, I almost
Man.
missed it because I was tossing up between two other games, and I'm glad I didn't get either of them. And then I saw it sitting behind a pillar, and I was like, I want that one.
You know when that period, I think, in gaming left us, and like the nostalgia
Game
part.
died?
No, not what. It was after Game died, I reckon.
Yeah.
It was once you stopped seeing original PSP games on the shelf.
See, I never had a
But-
PSP at the time.
no,
so I
but,
don't
like-
remember even looking at them.
No, but I just remember like just having, you'd have like still be PS2 games there. There'd be
Oh,
newer
yeah,
generation. That'd be like original DS.
Yeah.
You sometimes some shops would still have PS1 games or N64 games.
Yeah,
PSP, there was a period of like maybe a year or two where you'd still see PS1, not
PS2
Dreamcast.
and PS3.
That all that had gone because of Sega was out.
It was
yeah,
barely
64.
Yeah.
See, what
Like
do you
seeing
think happened to
64
all that sort of stuff? Because like, if it was just sitting there for years, I don't think
It would have been sent to a warehouse and then redistributed overseas, or would have just been resold on. The same way that EB does with all of like the Game Boy Advance games that you would have traded in there.
Yeah.
They then got just resold overseas, basically.
Damn.
Because they didn't like, they're not sitting in a warehouse somewhere, unfortunately.
Remember when Dick Smith closed?
Yes.
yeah,
I went
so much money got saved just going there and buying random stuff I didn't need.
I went to my local Dick Smith, which was at Erin Affair. Shout out to the Central Coast, biggest one-story shopping centre in the Southern Hemisphere.
It's a weird flex.
I know. No, there's nothing else going on the coast.
Nothing else in the Southern Hemisphere.
Usain Bolt played for the soccer team for about half a season.
I still have a Logitech mouse I bought from Dick Smith over 10 years ago.
Of course you do. You got the control of the submarine exploded with. But I remember going.
Actually, yes.
Yeah, of course you do. I remember going there and $50 each. And even at this age, I would have been 17, I think. I was like, fuck, if I had a car, if I had somewhere to put this, I should have bought them. They had the 360 display with the game and the TV, like the full cabinet.
Yeah.
All I remember is
They
the
had-
silver, and then they had the game in it.
They had the PS2 one still. Years later, they brought it
I
out.
would have 100% gone for the 360 one because that would have had the demo version of Oblivion on there, which was actually the full game. It just had a time limit on it.
Okay, yeah, I was going to buy the 361 to buy a game that was already 8 years old. Okay.
Boomer mentality.
No, but they had the 360, the PS2, the PS3, and I think the GameCube one, or maybe the Xbox one. But they had all of them lined up there, and it was like $50 each. And like, bro,
That would have been,
at that time I knew those things were cash money, not even to buy it, just to sell it on. But that was cool as
just to
fuck.
have it.
I really wish. But I mean, I was still in high school. I was like, I've got nowhere the fuck to put this. My dad's gonna kill me. Is that an original PlayStation one?
the PlayStation 2, and that was the one I remember seeing the most often.
I
Which
vaguely
obviously-
remember that. I remember
Yeah.
having like a clear one. I
They
could
cl-
be wrong.
That one?
Yes, I think it was that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop
that-
showing us because they won't
I'll
see
just
it.
I'll save
That
the photos.
emulation station
more
thing I was
looking.
going to build for you.
Yeah.
The side panels and everything you can put around when you're running stuff. You can set it all up so that it has that motif.
That's cool.
It's a lot of work, but
They're
And
cool.
it all
oh no,
comes
I know what you're talking. Yeah, I know what
pre-installed,
you're talking about.
They're
Yeah.
cool to just look at those like old like console like station things.
Yes.
And like stuff like that is worth big bucks these days. Like the
Did
old
you see the guy that's bought the 3DS display guy thing?
No.
It's been like running around shorts and TikTok at the moment. He's been like
God, these are cool.
refurbishing it from scratch. Because there's an old 3DS thing that has all the demo versions and everything pre-installed on it. But it also is slightly more powerful than the actual 3DS itself.
Shut
Oh,
up.
back exercises.
I don't think people care as much about the software. It's more about the physical thing.
Yeah.
Especially if it's just a TV in there, you can play whatever you want on it. It's just
Yeah.
cool that
I
it's
just
got
know
the
that,
branding
like,
and the shapes.
Yeah,
and
exactly. And I know like a lot of people, one that was really desirable was the McDonald's N64 ones. I don't know if they're an Australia thing or just America.
I don't
But
remember
there's
ever
a
seeing them,
couple
but I
of
do
those
remember,
around.
Like,
I
I don't
vaguely
remember seeing
remember.
it in real
I
life,
vaguely
should say.
remember having my local McDonald's have some sort of console there that you could play. I never touched it because it'd be the type of thing where you'd have all your bogan
Yeah.
parents
your
leave their kids
old-
there all day playing it.
Did you ever have like where obviously they had the party room and like the outdoor
Yep.
area? Did they have the games in there in your ones?
No, but I was about to say at like certain pubs
And
or
RSLs and
clubs
that,
and
yeah.
The one at
RSLs.
Warner's Bay had like the PlayStation 2s, and they had games I had never ever heard of. That
Yeah.
was so.
I remember playing the Revenge of the
So
Sith
good.
game at like a steakhouse once. It was hectic.
And now they've just got iPads on the wall, and it's.
Oh,
it's
they
not
don't
the
even
same.
have that. I'm sort of happy they got rid of games rooms.
I went to a pub the other week for I think it was Mum's birthday. They they had a big TV on the wall, and then the other side of it that the kids could then access was like the old smart boards that they had in primary school.
Oh yeah, what a throwaway. Smartboards fucking sucked.
Oh,
Oh.
ridiculous.
The
Yeah.
amount of money that was put into that shit, it was like too early tech, and they thought this is going to be the thing that's going to be adopted.
Dude, it worked really well. The school I used to work at had a whole bunch of them, and then after a while, like,
The pens
mean,
get
I was
broken or
there for-
lost, it's done. This thing's screwed.
well,
Yeah,
no, they never
literally.
used the pens.
We had
We had the pens there.
Did you
but
have the
we
four
just-
Yeah,
colours?
yeah,
Yeah, we
no.
just used our
They
fingers.
use it in my primary school, and then some of the classrooms in high school use them, and they just use them as projectors basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much all we used them
Yeah.
for. And they were great for like,
And we just-
running movie nights.
just
and
use
that,
Yeah.
like, for,
whiteboards.
It's exact or a chalkboard. Yes, there's the whiteboards are
Yeah,
easier.
I only
but
had a few chalkboards back
No,
in school.
we ended up replacing all of them after about 6 years because the bulbs in them died stupid quick. We replaced
Actually,
all of them
they,
with like, massive TVs and just ran, just plugged into.
They
the laptop.
used them a bit at uni, but solely as, or was it a different type of thing? Solely just as to project the tutor's screen.
yeah.
Like in the lecture halls, it'd be a projector, but in the standard rooms, tutorial rooms, it would be like a smart board-esque thing.
Yeah.
I think it was just a normal projector actually.
Because we had whenever
it was.
when they first brought them in, all of like the older teachers that we had in primary school and high school, you could tell they were really, really, really good at like just writing on the chalkboard.
Yeah.
Because they would use the pens and do all the notes. But you got any teacher that was like 25 or younger or
And
like
they
doing the learning,
type it.
they could not write on that board to save their lives.
Well, speaking of saving, we're an hour and 22 minutes. We probably won't use all of this, but
I think we could.
no, I think there's about 2 minutes at the start, which is as blubber. And speaking of saving, is there something you want to say, Brock?
Yes. We will save it there.
All right, see you guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Woo!